Learn my 7-figure strategy on how I generate leads from running paid ads online. What's up everybody, it's Adrian Brambila here, and you're watching one video in a series of 30 on how to make money online. If you're watching this out of order, make sure you go to adrianbrambila.com/30 days so you can start from the beginning. Otherwise, today, we're getting into a very intense concept. We're in our last final week of the 30-day program, and this is the week where you get to learn about how to run ads, how to build a website, things like funnels, and basically the last part of tools and technology that helps you scale a business to what a very common dream is of making $10,000 per month.
Money, please.
If we could take a step back to our very first video, we learned the most valuable concept of an online business. The key to success is not about how many followers you have. It's not about how many people or traffic are visiting your website. It's about generating leads. And if you don't generate leads, you may find ways to make money. But if you want to make sure that your business, no matter what business model it is or side hustle it is, that 10 years from now it's still around, you have to collect leads and generate leads. What's a lead? A phone number, an email address. And why are they so important? Because you own them. You. I don't care if you have a gazillion followers on Instagram or TikTok, they own the followers. So generating leads is the utmost important. And this video training is going to be taught in a way that can apply to any type of online or offline business. And even if you are a mom and pop shop that has a local place of like a dentist or something, or if you are an online side hustler trying to make it, this lesson about how to generate ads is literally the name of the game. When I made this lesson, I kind of used the concept of affiliate marketing, but I want to make it clear, just because I say affiliate marketing, you can basically replace that word with e-commerce or traditional business or service or product-based business. It does not matter. This strategy is the same strategy that I use across all my types of different business models that I need to generate leads for using paid ads. Before we get into the lesson, we need to cover one abbreviation called CPA. CPA stands for cost per acquisition. Super nerdy. But the cool way to say it would be how much money you gotta spend to bring in a lead. If you ever watch Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful usually is always asked this question to people who have websites like, what is your CPA? This is a very important number because it's the lifeblood of your business. How much money do you need to spend to acquire a new customer or lead? CPL is another abbreviation, not as cool, but cost per lead. So how much money do you need to spend in ads to bring in a lead? Someone who says, here's my phone number, here's my email, and if the math works, this is how you scale, right? So if you spend $100 just to get an email, it's never gonna work. I don't care what you're selling, unless you're selling Ferraris. It's never gonna work. But if you can get your cost per acquisition or cost per lead down to under $1, to under 50 cents, which is what I do so well, then you can build a massive business, and that can apply to pretty much any side hustle you pick. If you're brand new to this whole idea of running ads on a social media platform or search engine, it's okay. This video is gonna break down things from a top level, and the concept, I think even if you don't plan on running ads, it's still very important to understand the science of the business and how the mathematics work, because even if you are terrible with numbers, this is one kind of equation or formula of math that you really need to master and understand if you want to take this side hustle or online business stuff seriously. So without further ado, here is the master strategy on how I generate leads, which has basically got me to where I am today. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact formula that I've been doing for the last 5 years across 250 different brands as an affiliate marketer in completely different niches that now generates last month $64,000 in income and around a profit of around 70% going strong for now over a year of basically generating an average of $50,000 per month. Last month was kind of high. But anyways, this is the formula. It's a winning formula. It's a winning strategy. And we're first going to walk through like the philosophy and principles of it and how it works. And then we're going to basically use a very specific example of a campaign I launched in the last 7 days, how it's doing, why the data is looking at it, and how you optimize and scale from there. But essentially, this is how you scale as an affiliate marketer. So people talk about organic and blogs and stuff, and that's all great. But this is how you scale if you want to basically make over $10,000 per month and even be a 7-figure affiliate marketer. So essentially what I'm doing is this. So I'm running ads on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google, you name it, right? And so on these platforms, I have to spend money. And my money that I'm spending on here, basically any single platform that you run ads on, the more that you ask from the platform, the more it's going to charge you. So for example, if you optimize ads for sales, a lot like dropshippers do, it's a failing formula at the beginning because that's like the hardest and toughest thing to do. So you can optimize for engagement, link clicks, or leads, and it's far cheaper than optimizing for sales. So I optimize for leads, and I put a minus sign here because that costs money. But basically, I'm spending money on these platforms with the intent that after I spend money, I'm going to be asking for an email address. So on the ads that I run, this is just rule of thumb numbers. I'm trying to get. I know I'll have a winning, profitable, even from the weekend campaign or even day end if I can get my ads to under $1. But if you're starting out, you're probably not going to see that, and that's okay. Because I've taken many campaigns that started where I ran an ad to try to drive leads, and it cost me more than that. But what I'll say here is that if you launch a campaign and you're optimizing for leads, and you start in between $3 and $5, you are on the right track. That is totally okay. But the best campaigns where I can make that negative dollar into a positive dollar and even profit is I'm getting every cost per lead, and the language here is CPL, for under $1. And that's how I know I have something amazing. And I kind of just did a little sneak peek before here of the campaign I launched in the last week, and it is under $1. And you're going to see the entire process, but it's absolutely fascinating. So when you run your campaigns to ask for a lead, it's really about delivering some type of idea or of value, and I'll put or value. Some people will call this an offer, but really to drive a lead, you should really focus on value. The money comes, but it's kind of like when you run an ad. A lot of people run ads, they try to sell in the first time. It's like going on your first date and asking that person to marry you. But really, if you deliver value, you can actually make money. You're still going to make a lot of money, but it comes after you kind of build and nurture a relationship. See, the offer I'm gonna talk through and actually show is in the fragrance niche. And so we basically wanted to drive leads for fragrances so they buy perfume. So we could run an ad and say, hey, want to buy this perfume? Or want to buy this fragrance? But our results would have been crappy. That's what most people do. Instead, we did some content research of like, how can we create, this is the main question you have to ask, how can you create something of value that is worth someone to trade their email for? So that's really what it comes down to, is how to create something that someone's basically going to trade their email. Or if you're collecting phone numbers, that's supposed to be a number. Collecting your emails or phone numbers. So someone sees your free article, your free guide, your free offer, your free discount, whatever it is, and they say, I want that. Here's my email. And that's the main question you have to ask. Now, I don't know what stage you're at right now. Maybe you have a blog, have an e-commerce store. Maybe you have nothing. If you have nothing, then you first got to pick a niche, right? So whatever niche you pick, this still is the fundamental question you have to ask and answer for success. In that niche I pick, how do I create something of value and that is someone is going to be willing to trade their email or contact information for? So the thing we created was I'm going to create basically a free horoscope fragrance guide. So I'm going to tie in 2 interests, horoscope plus the interest of fragrance, because fragrance is how this brand as an affiliate makes money. It's also an e-commerce store too, but this strategy does not just work for affiliate, it works for any type of business model, even Amazon FBA. So I'm going to create something of value that targets them. So my question that I answered was I'm going to create this guide that is basically going to teach them what to wear. So this is a free value-driven piece of content, and it's for anyone that is marketed towards me. I'm not the audience or demographic. They might think, dude, I'm not interested. They're going to scroll past. But my targeting is going to target people who are into horoscopes and into fragrances. So when they see this, when they're scrolling across their feed, it should pop up like, dang, that's exactly like I would love this information, and I'd be willing to trade my email for. And that's basically what you want to test, right? So when we set up so first you have to answer that question. Because driving leads, like your email list as an affiliate marketer, it's the number one key to success. And so after you figure that question, now it comes to running ads and testing. So when you run ads and test, I typically follow this campaign or this formula right here across everything. So LG stands for lead gen. I have my campaign, and at the beginning, because there's so much we don't know, we want to just test big differences. So I'll usually create 3 different audiences, and because I know it's horoscope and interest, they're all going to have some type of tie, but they're going to be different. So one of them maybe they'll be magazines, one of them will be established big brands, and the other one could just be random guessing and just research, so across Instagram and Facebook, see what pops up. Now, after you have your 3 audiences, the next piece you have is ads. And so the same thing, I want to test 3 different ads, and all I'm thinking about in the beginning is big differences. And the way you set up your ads, so you want to set up 3 different ads, but you want to duplicate them with the exact post ID. So there's really only 3 ads that are accumulating social engagement and social proof. You don't want to have basically 9 ads. It's 3 ads replicated across each audience. And that way, social proof is one of the best ways, you can scale on Facebook. When someone sees a post and it has, 50 likes and comments and shares, it just is, people are going to be like, oh, other people are liking it, so I'm more inclined to take the action as well. So that's basically the ad setup. You have a lead generation campaign. You have 3 different audiences. They're different. You don't want to have too or overlap in them. And then you want to have 3 different ads. And so when I say big differences, what does that mean? I mean, like, one is a video, one is a square image, one has potentially long copy, one is short and sweet, right? This is what I mean by big differences, because when you look at your data after you've ran for even 3 days, your ads and your audiences should be different. Some of them are going to crush it, hopefully. Some of them are going to be terrible. And that's good, because oftentimes what I think in my head before I launch, or what I think is going to work, ends up being the worst one. So that's why you're just trying to give options. So all this makes sense when you create a campaign on Facebook that's labeled under CBO, which is campaign bid optimization. And this is basically where you're giving Facebook options like audiences and tools like ads. And you're going to let Facebook kind of test and tweak and test the differences of all these different ads right here, of like which audience, which ad is going to be tested. And all this is going to be mapped under whatever your daily budget is. So I usually like to start with a 30-day budget. And so $30 a day, and I've given so many different combinations. There's probably hundreds of different combinations here between the audience and the ad. And Facebook's going to use that $30 intelligently using the campaign style, campaign bid optimization, and test in between all these different places. I know it sounds nerdy and complex, but really, it's really like Facebook has like done an amazing job. It's like using AI or machine intelligence to basically, where we're just giving options as an advertiser or marketer, and then Facebook's going to pick the best audience with the best ad at the right time. And at the beginning, of course, going back to our numbers, Facebook doesn't have much data to work with, so it might cost $3 to $5. And if it costs more, something's off. I think your offer is really off. But your goal is to try to get under $1. When you get under $1, like that's where you can scale and literally spend thousands of dollars a day, make that $1,000 back, and you're basically getting an email list for free, and that's how you know you're going to crush it. Well, that's the strategy. No joke. That high-level strategy is exactly what I'm doing. At the time of this recording of my video, I have hundreds of campaigns that are running, collecting leads, sending them to a funnel, and I'm optimizing and maximizing and testing and changing and pausing based on my cost per lead. It's all about a math game. If you can get to the point where you can spend money on an ad to generate a lead and make that money back to pay for the email, it's going to be hard not to make money. We're coming down to the end of this course, and our next videos that are coming up are intense. It'll be technical because we're actually going to be in the dashboards of how to run ads. So if you are someone who is always scared, have never run an ad before, don't worry. My nerdy teaching style will try to make it as easy as possible. One thing I always think about is when I analyze my day, what did I do today? I always know that if I spent most of that time in an ads dashboard, running ads on a Facebook dashboard or Google or TikTok or YouTube, I know that I'm gonna make more money because of where I spend my time. So although I think running an ad is a very, very scary thing, I think out of all the things you're doing, when you get to the ad stage and that's where your focus is on, running ads and learning about that process, you're bound to make money because that's the best place to be. That means you've built your website, you've built your product, or you've tested your product, you got it set up, and you're ready to bring on the traffic. It's an amazing place to be. And I think on days where I feel like I don't spend any time in my ads dashboard because I was caught up with like busy work or other stuff, that's how I know I didn't progress as fast as I could or did the maximum that I could in that day. And now you have my personal strategy on what I use to run my ads to generate leads. All you have to do next is try. If you want to get the complimentary resources that come with this video, make sure you go to adrianbrambila.com/30 days. Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much for watching. This is Adrian Brambila. Peace. When I started my very first side hustle, I was working at a call center making $27,000 a year. If I could pinpoint how I got from then to now, it would definitely be by the power of habit. It's one of the hardest things to create, but once you have it, you feel unstoppable. To help you build it, I've created the Side Hustle Journal, which is a daily journal that will help hold you accountable to working on your side hustle and creating an amazing business and life that you love. Go to adrianbrambila.com/journal to check it out today.